Surah Insan? Because they have a very important message that we need to be reminded of. Surah Sajda is called the prostration. And the name of each surah is significant because the names of the surahs, they tell you about the core message and objective of the surah. Now, Surah Sajda, it starts off with telling us where the ultimate source of truth is. Allah and the Quran. That is where we get our truth from, and that is where we get our understanding from. But the way it starts is very interesting. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala starts the surah with Alif Lam Mim. What does Alif Lam Mim mean? We have no idea. We read Alif Lam Mim, we do not know what it means. We are confused by it. It's as if it's stating our state of confusion. And then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala tells us straight away after that, Tanzilul Kitabi la rayba fihi min Rabbil Alameen. This is the revelation of the book, the Quran. There's no doubt in it from the Lord of the universe. This is where you're going to find clarity. This is where you're going to find truth. And then Allah Azza wa Jalla says, Am yaquluna iftara. They're going to say that you have fabricated, O Muhammad. But rather it is the truth from your Lord. And then Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, after He establishes the source of truth, He now talks about His signs. The different signs that we have around us, the universe that Allah created. All these signs which are meant to indicate the purpose that we're created for. The signs are not there for us just to look at. We live in a time where we know science very well. And we study science just to accumulate information. But the objective of that information, it is not just to have a lot of information in your mind, but it's so that that mind, when it gains all that information and that knowledge, that it leads to certain action. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَهْتَدُونَ, so that they attain guidance. That's the objective, Allah says. And that guidance, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, before He even gets to it, He talks about our origin, our human story, where we came from. That we came from fluid, dust, telling us that it's not, we live in a time where the self is inflated. That we think that we are the ones who build our worldviews and our ideologies and so on. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala reminds us of where we came from and the humble beginnings we started from. And Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, it's not the objective, it's not to humiliate us, it is to humble us so that we surrender and submit to Allah, who knows us better than ourselves. And then after that, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He goes to our resurrection, where we're going to return to accountability. Telling us that all this knowledge that you've accumulated, this information, this intellect that you have, this understanding of the world, all that which you know, it is meant to be something that you use for Allah, to surrender to Allah, to submit to Allah. If that's not happening, then you're going to be questioned about it. You're going to be asked about it on the Day of Judgment. Prepare for that. And then straight after that, Allah, He talks about those individuals who all of this, which we previously mentioned, it benefited them. إنما يؤمن بآياتنا الذين إذا ذكروا بها خروا سجدا وسبحوا بحمد ربهم وهم لا يستكبرون. Verily those who believe in our signs are those when they're reminded of these signs. As soon as they see all these signs, they have knowledge, they understand and they comprehend it. It doesn't just remain in their minds. It leads to action. They prostrate. And that's the objective of the surah. That's why it's called Sajda. That all of this information that you have, we live in a time of information. AI, everything's available. We have so much knowledge. But if that knowledge is not leading to prostration, that you're lowering the most honorable part of your body for Allah, and you are lowering yourself for Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala said that you rise in the heavens. If you're not doing that, that's a waste, Allah is saying. You have not accomplished the objective of the Quran, which is you become a servant who surrenders to Allah, who submits to Allah, who becomes a true servant of Allah Azza wa Jal, because that is what's going to elevate you, that's what's going to raise you, that's your honor in this world and the next life. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is telling us that is what you're meant to seek. And then straight after He tells us that these individuals, their sides, they leave their beds at night, like you all are doing. The whole night you're awake, worshipping Allah, seeking Allah's pleasure. Why? Because they are in secret when nobody is around, when no one's awake, they are worshipping Allah, surrendering to Allah, showing sincerity to Allah, because of that huge reward that is also hidden, Jannah. They're striving for that. Allah is reminding us of that message so that we are those who are reminding ourselves of our purpose every single Friday. We start the day with it. And that's essential. Don't forget. Don't be distracted. No matter how much you are consumed by this worldly life, this is the reality. And what you're doing right now in Salat al-Fajr, prostrating to Allah, that's the objective. Don't let anything distract you from that and take you away from that. The moment you are distracted from that and you're taken away from that, that's when you lose. The moment that is essential in your life, that's when you're always going to win. We only have a few days left of Ramadan. And the end matters more than the beginning. It's all about how we end it. That's what Allah Azza wa Jalla judges. And if we end it in a way that's pleasing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, that could be the reason why we are freed from the hellfire forever and granted Jannah. That's it. There's no other destination. And it's only a number of days. That could be the reason why your whole fate changes. So may Allah grant us the ability to benefit from these last few days and to make us successful this month and to make us from those who truly submit to Him and surrender to Him and don't serve their egos and their desires. And we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to make us from those who hear this speech and follow the best of it, and to make us from the people of the Quran, those who truly understand it. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, just like He gathers us all here tonight, that He gathers us all in Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la without any previous punishment or any difficult account. And we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to accept our fasts and our prayers and all our righteous deeds. And we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to grant us taqwa and to grant us sincerity in our statements and actions. And we ask Allah to aid our brothers and sisters who are suffering all over the world. We ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to grant them victory and to deal with those who are oppressing them. إنه لذلك قادر عليه. صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا.